Amazon reporting its second quarter earnings after the bell, beating estimates on the top and bottom line. For a deeper dive into the company's financial results, we're joined by Nick Jones, JMP Securities equity research analyst. So as we've been talking about, Amazon really a bellwether of sorts for certain tech companies. What is your take on what you saw from Amazon in terms of its strength, especially in cloud?
Yeah, I think the initial look at the print is pretty positive. They beat on top line, operating margins came in better than expected. I think a big question for a lot of investors were, would retail numbers hold up? While some of their first-party products missed a little bit, third-party services really came in strong. I think there was also concerns on whether the cloud business would be resilient as macro fears increase, particularly with the GDP print today. So overall, I think top line numbers look better than feared, and even though the 3Q guidance came in a little bit below expectations on the bottom line, the resilience in demand is enough to get the stock moving after hours here.
Nick, what do you make of what we heard from Walmart earlier this week, the fact that they're lowering their guidance, some hesitation there just in terms of what inflation could mean for their business, yet we're seeing this excitement around Amazon, and we have pretty much, I guess, the same similar fears when it comes to these two names. Why do you think Amazon, or why do you think the street thinks Amazon is better positioned at this time?
Well, Amazon has kind of a first-class consumer experience. Walmart is also more indexed towards food, so they have a little more exposure to inflation from that angle as well. While Amazon, with their 1 and 2 day delivery, it provides consumers what they want, how they want it. The demand from consumers is still there. I think as we look at e-commerce trends broadly, and we saw this with Etsy's results yesterday, they had strong top-line performance. E-commerce, while losing some share to offline and travel and experience, has shown more resilience, and I think the expectation is that will rebound as we get out of 2022 and into next year. So as you look through near-term pressures, I think that sets Amazon up as an interesting company heading into kind of the end of the year and into next year, particularly the holiday season.
Reports have another Prime Day coming in October, the Prime Early Access Day, but this is largely, again, an AWS story. What do you see in the strength of their cloud business?
Yeah, I think it's promising. They attract a lot of smaller companies. They posted a lot of interesting larger companies who signed up in the press release today. I think that will continue to be a bright spot of their business. And what's important to note for Amazon versus Walmart is they do have AWS, right? This can subsidize the retail business as they navigate more turbulent times. So, we look for that to continue to be a strong point for the business. And we look to, Second Prime Day as a way for them to leverage their capacity that has been a little underutilized as they built for demand has started to wane, and demand appears to be there. And this should be a really strong channel for retailers who have excess inventory.
And Nick, obviously you have all these tech companies facing the same macroeconomic conditions. What do you think Amazon did to position itself perhaps better than some of these other tech companies that aren't faring so well?
They've had a maniacal focus on the consumer forever. That's part of the company's ethos. They provide a consumer experience. Consumers want selection. They want strong prices. They want a great consumer experience. They want a quality experience. Amazon provides all of those relative to traditional offline retailers or more specialty retailers that maybe aren't as far along the tech curve as Amazon. And I think, in this environment that shows up, and that's what people look to when they're looking to put money to work.
Nick, the one area that might be of concern here for Amazon in this most recent report is the spending that we saw from its online business. So yes, physical stores beat expectations. Online sales, though, coming up a bit short. Is that the start of a larger trend?
We'll see. I think we're going to look to the earnings call to dive into that a little bit more. I think that'll be a focus on the call at 5 o'clock later tonight. It's interesting. On the Prime Day, they still had a lot of great sales of Alexa devices and a lot of their first-party products. So I think that's actually something we're going to focus on and unpack a little bit more on the earnings call. But it's a little too early to say if that's the beginning of a longer-term trend.
Amazon records a $3.9 billion loss on their Rivian investment. I want to push forward a bit. How significant do you think the $3.9 billion purchase of One Medical will be as we move forward?
I don't think it's that significant. One Medical, it makes sense. They've been investing more and more into healthcare, it makes sense for them to own One Medical, right? They can get in front of clients or patients early on for preventative care and in the decision-making process. They, recall they purchased PillPack. They have a pharmaceutical program similar to a GoodRx where you can get discounts on pharmaceuticals. So to get in with patients, with their doctors when they're making decisions, makes a lot of sense as they lean more and more into healthcare and make more investments in that industry.
And where do you see Amazon perhaps putting most of its focus going forward based on what we've seen with these quarterly results?
Retail continues to be the vast majority of the business. AWS is a profit engine and continues to see great growth. We see advertising as a real opportunity for the business long term. It doesn't get a ton of attention. When you see some of the bids around, some of the NFL nights, some of the other, freebie and kind of ad-based connected TV content they're going after, there's a long runway for them to grow their advertising business. And that could be very, very profitable, potentially even more profitable than the AWS business longer term.
Wow. That's huge because we talk about the importance of AWS here. Nick, real quick, the stock off 26% year to date. We certainly are seeing excitement around these earnings. In addition to what we're getting this afternoon, what do you see as the short-term catalyst for this stock as Amazon tries to right the ship here?
Yeah, the short-term catalyst, I think it's macro conditions. Where's the 10-year going? It's going to declare whether we're in a recession or not, and how are we all going to react? How are multiples going to react to that news and where the 10-year is going? As a result, I think we're kind of touch and go. People will look to the earnings call at 5, and then I think we're going to sit tight until we get to the 3Q earnings call and kind of see how they're shaping up for the 4Q kind of holiday season. I think those are the kind of the near-term catalysts until we get more macro clarity.
JMP Securities, Nick Jones, appreciate it, sir. Thanks.